Hello, everyone. Welcome to our live session today. This is our third live session, and we are so excited to welcome you today. As we give a few minutes for people to join, I'm going to go ahead and say if you can join us in the chat and share your name and your major. We'd love to see who is here and who has joined us today, and maybe we can give you a shout out. So if you can share your name and your major in the chat. And while we do that, let's go ahead and get started with some announcements. So as always, the application is open for everybody to start, and it is open for the standby list in Edinburg. So we are a little bit at capacity in Edinburg, so we want to make sure that if you want to live on campus, you are getting your application in as soon as possible. And we are working on processing the standby list daily, so please feel free to submit your applications. We do have availability for room assignments in Brownsville, so if you are needing a place to stay and you'd like to start over in Brownsville, and then when something becomes available in Edinburg, move on over. That is also available to you, so you can just let us know via email and we are able to help you. And there is a QR code that I'm going to flash here, but also it is on our link tree. It is everywhere on our Instagram. So if you have missed any sessions so far, please feel free to scan this QR code. It'll show you our 2 previous sessions that we've had, and it has some timestamps so you can kind of fast forward to the most important parts that you're looking out for. If you're not joining us live today, that is totally okay. This video will be available to you, and all previous videos will be available to you. And I do want to invite you for every Tuesday up until move-in day to join us live so you can ask your questions and get all your information answered. We are also going to be moving on to some introductions. So we do have a few people here joining us, and they're going to introduce themselves, but we have a few of our staff members that aren't in these live sessions. They might be joining us for future live sessions, but the first is Ms. Rebecca Gadsden, Associate Dean for Policy Management and Director of Residence Life. She is our director here, and she may be joining us later. My name is Monica Vera Leandro. I'm the Assistant Director of Housing and Residence Life. I'm currently at the Edinburg campus, but you will see me on both campuses pretty often. And then we do have a vacant position, an Assistant Director position in Brownsville that we're currently searching and closing out the search for. And then we have Ms. Ingrid de la Torre that may be joining us next week or in future sessions. She's new, and she's going to be our housing coordinator for Heritage and Troxel. And then, John, if you'd like to take it away.
Everybody, I'm John Gutierrez. I'm the Unity Housing Coordinator here in Edinburg, and in my undergrad, I got my major was history, and I had a minor in philosophy, and right now I'm currently getting my master's in criminal justice.
Hi y'all, I'm CJ. I'm the village housing coordinator here in Edinburg, and during my undergrad, I majored in biology.
Hello everyone, my name is Judith Valdez. I'm the housing coordinator for the Brownsville campus at the Casa Bella Apartments. My undergrad was criminal justice with a minor in legal studies, and I do have a master's as well in criminal justice.
Thank you, coordinators. And we do have 2 more staff members that aren't with us today on the live, but we have Mr. Randy Correño. He's our facilities coordinator for all facilities. So if you see him, make sure to tell him hi and a thank you for keeping all of our facilities running. And the same with Miss Georgina Lozano. She's currently housed in the Brownsville campus at Casa Bella, but she serves all of our facilities in administrative operations. So a big thank you to all of our team, and we're going to keep going and getting ready for for fall throughout the rest of the summer for all of you. And now we're going to jump into what the topic of this live session is today, which is move-in, right? We are talking about surviving move-in and thriving after move-in. And so we're going to talk about everything that you need to know about move-in day and all of that information. And we're also going to talk about maybe some tips and tricks and some information that you might need. So before we get started, we did have one person that introduced themselves in the chat. So welcome, Jamie, and a major in psychology. Great job, and we hope to see you on campus soon. And go ahead and take it away.
All right, y'all. So, what to expect on move-in day? We have 5 quick steps here to kind of go over with you all to kind of help you with what to expect. So, step 1 is arriving at your hall. So, whether you're at Unity, Heritage, Troxel, or Village, or Casa Bella, your first step is arriving, right? Finding your facility, and we'll go over that more when we go over our move-in map. But so that's your first step. Your second step is checking in with your student ID. So make sure you have your student ID, and have it ready whenever you get to our check-in areas at each designated hall. And don't unload your items yet. That's the last step. But your step 3 will be that our staff will take you to your room. You will review your room and sign your room condition report. Right. You also fill out that room condition report with anything that you see within the room. So please review your space very carefully when you do that. Step 4, you will take that paperwork back down to our check-in area, and then you will receive the keys to your room, which after you receive your keys, you will then be able to move all of your items into the room. And that day we will also have volunteers from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. to help you with any needs you may need by taking your things up into your room. And so this is our move-in map for Edinburg. At the bottom left, you'll see the university center where are the housing offices. You'll see a Volt stop because we will have our Volt running, which is a service that the university offices that the university offers to students to get them from different locations to different locations on campus. Right across, you see the dining hall, which is where you'll use your meal plans. Behind that, a little bit, it looks closer in the map, but it's a little bit of ways. Is our student union where our town hall will be held. That is mandatory for all new residents, so please be there from 4 to around 6 p.m. 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. on move-in day. And then we go to our Heritage and Troxel parking. So if you are housed at Heritage and Troxel, that's where you will park. There is an unloading zone, but it's just an unloading zone. Do not leave your car parked there. You'll have about 20 minutes to unload, and then have your whoever's helping you move have them move the vehicle to our designated parking areas for that area. And then we go along Sugar Road, and we have a Volt stop right in front of Unity Hall. So that will also be our check-in area for Unity. We have our parking lot, we have our unloading zone in the back and on the side. We have them both there because we do open our back gate and some of our emergency exits only for move-in. So that way we can have as many people move in as possible. Now, you will still have to check in at the front. So if you are parked in the back of Unity, make your way to the check-in area, check in, and then you're able to follow all the 4 steps or 5 steps that we went over, and then you're able to move in. And please, again, if you are in the unloading zone, unload, and then please move your vehicles towards the rest of our parking areas. And then we have the village apartments. They have their own parking as well. They don't really have an unloading zone because you can kind of park all around the village and you'll have a spot to kind of get to your room. We have the village office marked there where you will go to kind of check in and get your RCR and things like that, and then a staff member will take you to your room and you'll follow the same steps as with the halls.
Now for Brownsville Move-in, right there below you can see that there is the check-in parking. So you're going to go ahead and park your vehicle. You'll go ahead and cross the street into our Casa Bella check-in. That is also known as our clubhouse area. From there, an RA will go ahead and take you to your assigned building and room. As you see there, the buildings are labeled already. You will go ahead and go with your RA. Now, do please keep in mind, like John mentioned earlier, you will be able to park close to the buildings, but we do ask that once you are done unloading, that you do park further away to allow other people to unload as well. Now, another thing to keep in mind during move-in is that we will only have one entrance and one exit. So there will be volunteers that will be able to direct traffic, but just please do keep in mind that it will be only an entrance right there, and then the exit will be by building 6. Now, just some more information. It's really important that you have your B1 card on you. This is your UTRGV ID. This also does give you access to your meals and dining dollars, and we do recommend that you carry it with you at all times. If you ever do have any questions or concerns, there is the email address and the phone number available to you so you can contact the cart services. Now, let's say you forget your ID. There's this awesome app called the Get app, which is a secure portal that provides a quick and easy way for you to manage your V1 card. On here, you can actually also monitor your spending, and you can also secure uh, funds from your family or friends and any other things.
Hi. So a little brief overview about like what to bring and what not to bring. So remember that you're packing up your car, you're coming over to our facilities. You want to bring your bedding set, so your linens, your pillows, your comforters, maybe some mattress toppers, your towels and your washcloths. And then going into like the stuff you need for your restroom, you want to pack all your toiletries, including toilet paper, your shower caddies, maybe any bath mats that you're planning to have as you're packing up your electronics. Remember that we do offer Wi-Fi through our university Wi-Fi, right? So you can connect your laptops, your tablets. Remember surge protectors for all your charging cords, no extension cords, right? So you want to make sure they have that little light that indicates that they're a surge protector in case there's a power outage or any kind of electrical issue. That surge protector will protect your belongings from the overload of electricity, right? You're allowed to bring desk lamps or lamps in general as long as they are not halogen bulb. Halogen bulb is essentially the light bulbs that get really, really hot and produce heat. So as long as they're not producing um, or intended to produce heat, right, you're allowed to bring those type of light bulbs for your lamps. And then each of our facilities have laundry areas, right? Some in units, some within the lobby area. And so remember to bring your laundry detergent, your hampers, your hangers, and you can bring irons or steamers with automatic shut-off features. Some other stuff to keep in mind, there are several shopping areas around all of our facilities, right? Maybe within driving distance or walking distance. But you can always pack some of your snacks, some of your eating utensils. If you're bringing a bike, you can, make sure you bring that bike lock and register it with UPD. And then any like closet storage organizers that you feel like you might need. We do have images of our closets and room layouts online, so you can always check those out and see what type of organizer or closet storage would fit best with your room assignment. And then remember to bring your cleaning supplies. So your spray cleaners, your trash bags, a small vacuum might be recommended. Your hand soap and your air freshener is always a plus to have in your dorm. So some things not to bring, right? Do not bring any pets. Please do not bring your pets to campus on your very first move-in day or at all, right? You are allowed to have fish in a 10-gallon tank or smaller. So those don't need pre-approval, but just make sure your tank is within our regulation of sizes, right? So some people ask all the time, like, can I have a toaster? Can I have a air fryer? The answer is no. We don't allow items with open coils, but we do allow other items. So think of like a countertop kettle. that with an automatic shut off, Keurig with an automatic shut off, and things like that that don't have open heating sources, right? Absolutely no candles or incense, no um, for the scent, anything that you burn, make sure you do not bring those types of things. No fireworks or weapons, no drugs or drug paraphernalia. We recommend not to have large amounts of cash on you, as you never know when um, they might get misplaced and an issue might arise around that, right? So UTRGV is a tobacco-free campus, so make sure you do not have any um, tobacco products, which include electronic cigarettes or vape pens, right? Once again, those extension cords are not allowed. If you're looking to bring an extension cord type of thing, it needs to be a surge protected um, outlet source, right? So it has to have that switch, it has to be UIL approved, and mostly you're looking for that switch. That switch that turns on and off with the red little light means that it is surge protected. Um, yeah, so once again, like no string lights, you can have battery powered lights as long as you're putting them up with renter friendly adhesives, but no Christmas lights or string lights of that sort, as they do cause a fire safety risk, right? And then no hoverboards, microwaves, or routers.
Now, for our resident handbook, so all residents that live on campus have to follow the handbook. So we will be covering a little bit in the following slides what the handbook consists of, right? So our mission statement, really within the our housing and residence life department, we are truly committed to providing a safe and affordable residential community experience for students. Overall, we want to support and enhance mutual respect, student learning, personal growth, and academic achievement. So when we talk about respect, right, we not only talk about just respect to yourself, but we talk about respect as well to your roommates, your home, any university staff and community. With this, it includes, of course, no pranking, no hazing. We also want to ensure safety, so we want to take care of your community, of course, reporting any suspicious activity, and most importantly, to as well, is always making sure that you do evacuate immediately if you see a fire or hear the fire alarm. When it comes to our security, we want to make sure that you guys are always locking your doors and keep your windows shut and locked at all times as well. If you ever do find yourself locked out of your room, we have an RA on call that will be able to assist you. And we also ask that you please not share your keys with anyone and always have your ID with you. And when we talk about keys, we not only talk about your mail key, your room key, we also talk about your student ID, because your student ID does give you access to certain facilities as well. So we ask that you please do not share those.
And so going over some more little policies that we have for guests and etiquette, right? So we do have our visiting hours. Sunday through Thursday, it is 10 a.m. to 1 a.m. Um, and then Friday through Saturday, it does extend to 2 a.m. For guests that are visiting that are signed in and checked in. Um, we do have quiet hours Sunday through Thursday, 10 p.m. to 10 a.m. And then Friday through Saturday, 12 a.m. to 10 a.m. as well. Sleepovers, we no overnight guests of the opposite sex are allowed in your room, but you could have the same sex in your room for a sleepover, but you do have to make sure with your roommates that they're okay with it. If you would like to have a friend spend the night in your room, and you do have to contact the AR on call to notify housing of any overnight guest and fill out an overnight guest form as well. Um, so all hosts and guests should understand these policies and the etiquette that we ask of our residents and their guests. All visitors do have to be checked in at our front desk. Both residents and their guests are responsible for knowing and following the UTRGV student code of conduct and our housing rules as well. And then something to make a note of that our handbook highlights as well. Renter's insurance, the university does not provide it for any personal property, but you can minimize the financial impact of a theft or anything or natural disasters by by ensuring your personal property. Our cooking policy again is no open heating element, no moving sharp edges, or moving/electric parts. And as for decorations, all decorations should be of a temporary nature and should not permanently deface or damage the room's finish. And especially no candles. We do not allow candles. Um, and then another note: university furniture will not be removed from any rooms. Um, you can bring furniture of your from on your own, but you cannot remove furniture from the rooms. You can't remove it from out of the room into the hallway. You can't put it in another room. It has to stay in the room. And then room searches and seizures. There's some reasons where rooms may be entered that include when there's a known emergency that exists, when there's evidence that a possible emergency or violation of university regulations exist, for maintenance and for our health and safety inspections that we conduct um, every few months within the halls as well.
So, as mentioned before, UTRGV is a tobacco-free campus, and we are also a drug-free zone, right? So that means absolutely no tobacco products, absolutely no drug products. And here at housing, we also have no paraphernalia policies as well. So that means nothing that resembles something that could be used in those types of activities, right? So those kinds of things are not allowed here at housing and at UTRGV. And then a little bit about our alcohol policy. So, in order to be allowed to have alcohol in your room, everybody in that suite or apartment, or yeah, that covers it. Suite and apartment should be over 21, and that would be considered a wet room, right? If you're in Unity and you have a roommate and you both are over 21, but you share a restroom with someone who's below 21, that means you're in a dry room and you cannot have alcohol, right? For more information about our alcohol policy, if you are over 21 and are interested in it, please review our handbook as it goes into specifics about the amount that you can have.
Now, some of our other policies when it comes to cleanliness, we want to make sure that you are keeping your living spaces clean, that you're taking out your trash, that you report any damages along the semester. You will have access to submit work orders. So if something breaks or anything is damaged or needs to be replaced, you are able to submit those work orders. So we ask that you are keeping up with that, and that the in the apartment spaces, for example, the living room and the kitchen area are being kept up with as well as your room. Like John mentioned, we do health and safeties. So during these, we do check for cleanliness as well, and also just to be respectful, since you do share some areas that are shared, such as the restroom in Unity and such as the living room and kitchen areas. Like CJ mentioned earlier, please, we do not allow any animals, so please do not bring your animals. Go ahead and leave them at home. And if you do have any questions regarding our, like our service animal or emotional support animal policy, you can go ahead and find that as well within our handbook. And lastly, another policy that we would like to go over quickly is that we do have campus carry restrictions. So we do ask that you review the campus carry restrictions on our website. Weapons are restricted in exclusion zones such as like residence halls. So you may ask yourself, right? Okay, there's all these policies. So what happens if I break a policy? Um, Depending on the situation, there are several things that can happen. You might have to meet with a housing staff member. There might be a student violation report. If there's any damages, maybe you will be charged some restitution. That might include some fines, services, etc. You might also potentially meet with student rights and responsibilities, or it is if it's extremely serious, we could potentially also have removal from on-campus housing.
Awesome. Thank you so much for your information. And this is just a note. So the theme of this entire session was surviving move-in and thriving after. So a lot of these policies, procedures, and notes are just kind of quick references for you to be able to be successful living in a community. So at the end of the day, these policies are put in place so that you can live and thrive with your neighbors, and that way everybody can kind of live in a respectful community where y'all are all thriving and focused on school and finishing your education. So at the end of the day, that is what all of this is for. Click back if you are kind of unsure about certain policies, or if you have any questions on why or when or where, please go ahead and send us a message either on through Instagram at UTRGB Housing, on our email, anything above, or you can comment on this even after the fact, and we will be able to kind of go back in and answer your questions. So there's so many ways to contact us, and we each are here for you in your communities. Just in general, we are all here to help answer your questions. So with that being said, we're going to talk a little bit about move-in day. This is very similar to past live sessions, but we want to cover it every single time so that you have your information and everything that you need to know. So from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. on move-in day, which is August 25th, 2026, we are officially 5 weeks away from move-in day, and it is going to go by so fast. So on move-in day from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m., you can check in, grab your keys. You do not need to move in at that moment, so if you're in a hurry or you have other things to do, that is perfectly fine. Once you have your keys, it is your room, and you are able to come and go as you please. At 4:30, as John mentioned, it is the mandatory first year town hall for our first year residents. This is another place. Yes, we talked a little bit about our policies and procedures right now. We're going to talk about it all together as a group, and we're going to help you meet your neighbor. We're going to have some activities, some prizes, some awesome fun things that happen. So you do not want to miss out, because that really is your very first step to living on campus as vaquero. And then we have at 6 p.m. dinner with your RA. You are welcome to come. Join us, join your RA at dinner. We're planning to have a very full house at the dining hall, a fun menu that is currently in the works with UTRGV Dining. So a lot of fun things that are going to happen on your very first day, right before school. We're trying to kick the nerves and trying to help you get acclimated very quickly, because you start school and welcome week the very next day. And then just some more information that you need to know. You can check out our moving guide. I flashed the QR code on the screen. You can find it on our Instagram. It is to our link tree. It has the moving guide. It has the resident handbook. An early move-in request is on there. If you want a room change request, that form is on there. Everything that you need to know, we try to keep that link tree updated. And if there's anything that you think, you know what, I think that this should be on the link tree, or I have a question about this, please let us know and we can add it there. And other things to keep in mind is that you need to make sure that you are enrolled in your classes, or you are scheduled for an orientation. Those two things make you eligible to keep your room. So if you have a room assignment and you want to keep it, you need to make sure that you are enrolled and signed up for orientation. If you don't have a room yet and you're on the standby list, we first check that you are enrolled and that you are signed up for an orientation, or you're signed up for an orientation before we put you in a space. So please make sure those two things are taken care of so that you can keep your room or get your room when one becomes available. And lastly, the payment deadline is August 21st. Those of you that were booked a couple of weeks ago, or last week, if you were already booked in a room, your charges should be on your account, and you should be able to see your charges already. So as of yesterday, you should be able to see your bill. If you don't see it, or if it is not correct, please send us an email and we can double check your account. If you were recently booked in a room and you just got your email, give us a few business days to make sure that that is updated. It is in 4 weeks, so exactly 1 month from today, are all your charges, or all of your payments are due for your very first for your very first semester living on campus. So please make sure to keep that in mind and start working towards those payment deadlines. And that is it in terms of official content, but we do have a few questions that came in. I think one question, when is move-in day? It is 5 weeks from today, so August 25th, 2026. If you have an early moving request, you can submit to come in on August 24th, 2026. Please submit those move-in requests ASAP, and we are reviewing them and sending approvals or denials often. So please make sure that you submit that form, and we will be contacting you in the case that we have any questions. This is our contact information. This is how to find us. As I mentioned, scan the QR code. I'm going to flash it one more time. Scan the QR code. This is your one-stop shop for everything that you need. And next week, we are going to have a session that kind of is just a recap from the first 3 sessions, but it is from our students. So you're going to hear from students. You can talk, kind of Q&A, ask questions. It's going to be a very informal session to review what we have covered so far. And then starting the next week, so in 2 weeks from today, we're going to have some special guests, student billing and scholarships, that will be here to talk about all things financial, about understanding your student bill and how scholarships are applied and all of that fun stuff. All things money will be in 2 weeks from today. Next week, you're going to be talking to students, asking questions. Please make sure to join us, and we will see you soon. I think we have one more question. It's about parking. So parking is going to be on the map. I can flash back to that briefly, and then John, if you can kind of help us out with that question.
Oh yeah.
Sorry, it's going to be a quick flash to the move-in map.
Okay, so for parking in Edinburg, it depends on which hall you're placed in, where you currently have your booking. So if you're Heritage or Troxel, you'll park in the Heritage Troxel hall parking, which you can see kind of on the map on the bottom left. If you're in Unity Hall, you'll park kind of in these designated areas for Unity Hall. You'd kind of move away from you would unload in the unloading zones, which are like the closest to like the building area, and then you'd kind of move your vehicle out of courtesy for the other residents to be able to unload as well.
Oh, and for Brownsville, right there where the little circle's flying, that's for the check-in parking. But for the building, depending on which building you're assigned, you will be able to park anywhere around the building.
Then I also see a question about parking permits. So right across Casa Vea is our UPD in Brownsville, which you can swing by and pick up your parking permit. They do charge, and all their information is on their website. So if you Google UTRGV parking and transportation, you'll be able to navigate to their parking registration portal, right, and purchase your parking permit. And then if we flip back to the Edinburg map.
Thank you so much. That concludes our session. And we will see you next time on, our students will be seeing you next week. So thank you so much. That it concludes